Alright guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the best skins under $5 that you can buy right now in Counter-Strike 2. If you missed it, I made a $1 video. Go watch it afterwards. You want to see how many insane skins you can get for under $5. I'm only focusing on the main weapon skins, so you might not see any like PP Bisons or P90s here, but it's all the weapons that you should actually be focusing on, and we're going to limit ourselves to 3 per weapon, and there's going to be full timestamps down below. Let's get into it. So I want to kick it off with the Glock. You can see here it's the Ramez's Reach. This is $4.90 in Battlescarred. The higher float you go, you can start to see an Easter egg that comes through on it. It's just under that $5 mark. And I think overall, it's a fantastic Glock skin. It's one of my favorites. Now, if you care a bit more for that sort of like pinky purple vibe, then the Vogue might be for you. This is $4.50 for minimal wear, so we're talking very clean and very nice. There's some interesting sticker crafts you can do for this, but again, just that pinky purple vibe on it is really nice. And then, as we speak of pink, there's a pattern-based one in the pink DD pack you could go for. And I picked Souvenir for it in Field Test, which is about $2.50 at the time of planning. Obviously, Souvenirs would have some nice gold stickers on it. Personally, I've kept the gold stickers on the one I own. That's a Souvenir Field Test. Value for money is really strong here. Now, as we shift over to the USP, I think the Cortex is such a good option. Minimal wear, you can get it for $3.62. I always say white and pink skins tend to come with a premium in CS, so the fact you're getting this, like those pink accents, absolutely pop. And then the other USP I think you should be looking at is the Alpine Camo. Now, this is one of the newer ones in the game. Minimal wear, you're talking $2.20. I think you can get factory new under $5. It's just dependent. Because it's newer, its supply is a little bit weird, pricing on third parties is a bit all over the place. We'll keep it safe with minimal wear. This also has like a case hardened pattern on the side there where you can see it can get a little bit of blue. So there is sometimes overpay for that. But overall, I think value for money on this pistol is actually insane. And then a P2000 on the under $1 video, I used an acid etched. Honestly, I'd probably still prefer it, but I want to try and get up the budget a little bit. So $2.50 for a factory new Pulse P2K is really nice. And if you're wondering, I didn't show 3 USPs. I picked 2 and then a P2K because there is actually some validity in using them now. You can get some real damage done with them. Now, on the Desert Eagle, I absolutely love like the options you get here. This is a factory new tilted from the new Overpass collection. So new gun model, factory new, it's looking clean. It's a chunky boy, taking heads with it, feels good, and it's $4. Like, it is just an absolutely cracking pistol. Another one of factory new, but you can see here we're on the old model, is the Trigger Discipline. Now, I know Moonfighter has been posting some new Trigger Disciplines on socials that he's working on, but this for me still is one of the best value for money Desert Eagle skins in the game flat out, regardless of budget. So, I do like it, but I'd say the Tilted probably wins for me these days. And then when I have myself in factory new for like a Rio 2022 craft, but you can get Field Test at under $5, is the Heirloom. I think this is a little bit of a different pick. It's $4.51 for Field Tested. Well, I would say Tilted and the Trigger Discipline are better. This is like a nice alternative that does set you up for some very interesting craft potential. And then at this point, we want to start looking at the key rifles. So AK47, the first one, you might have expected it. It's a field tested ice cold. This is under $5 now. It's about $4.30 at the time of planning, which was the 15th of Jan. You can see where some wear comes into it. It's going to happen because it's field tested. You can try and maybe hunt to get one under $5. It's really low field tested, but it's still going to have some scuff. So I think you embrace it a little bit and maybe down the line just try and craft over it to hide some of those. I then quite like the Crossfade as an option here. Now, it's minimal wear, it's $3.62. When it released, I was kind of hoping it was going to be pattern-based, but across the board, like for a budget-friendly AK, I'm quite happy with it. It actually has some interesting craft potential. One of the go-tos is like one of the recent PN Hollows. I prefer Copenhagen over Shanghai for it, but it's an interesting one that you can make something work with, and it's a nice step up from what the $1 options were. And then my third option is going to be the good old consistent AK47 Slate. It's $3.20 for Field Tested. It's just, like, it doesn't really get anywhere. You can get a battle scar, it's still going to look good. It's this full, nice blackout vibes. It is asking for a craft to go on at 100%. There's not too much else to say about the slate. Now, I've got to say, the M4A1-S options were interesting. The first one is going to be a leaded glass, which in field test will run you $4.25. It's a skin that does actually hold up pretty well in field test. It's like some coloration changes, not really scuffs. And the oranges and the blues still pop. And then, I mean, if you rock a default gloves, I'm running Nox, but like the black sort of blends in nicely overall with it. So really nice skin, and you don't see it that often. So I kind of like it for that. We're quite close to the $1 mark. $1.21 will get you a battle-scarred Night Terror. Now, the Night Terror, as you can see, goes very purple when you get high float battle scarred, and I've sort of accounted for that pricing on the float. So if you want something that's a little bit different, you want purple, but you don't quite crack into the Black Lotus budget yet, you want to look at this. And while I endeavored to go for skins that were over $1, so basically between $1 to $5 for this video, because we've covered the stuff under $1, the M4A1-S options kind of lacked a strong third option, so I'm going to say a factory new Wash Me Please for 86 cents is still going to be my third pick here, just because of how good it is. When we take a look at the M4A4s, Evil Daimyo coming in, basically $4 for factory new is always one I'm a fan of. It's a nice shade of red. It's just kind of like off grayish color. It's almost like a very light violet kind of color on it, honestly. So red and grey, this kind of odd accent color, it really stands out, and there's a good few stickers in the game that will work with this if you want to craft. I then think looking at a minimal wear turbine is a really nice option. Obviously, if you're not aware, as I shoot, this is going to light up. It's one of the new features with Source 2. Very cool. I want to see more of it in skins in general. But $284 for this. There was like 5 color options on the workshop. I still stand by the fact Valve picked the wrong color. But with that said, for the price you're paying, for it to light up when you're shooting with it, it's pretty damn cool. And then finally, it's going to be the good old Spider Lily. Now, this is $3.15 for the field test version. You will see it does start to get some scuffs through, especially on the white elements of it. But overall, it still holds up pretty well. You got this really nice clean blue base. You got these kind of like almost gold accents on it, with then the red on top and the white in some elements. It's a really unique skin for like the price you pay. Now, I'm going to keep it real. Under $5 is an absolute paradise for op options. Firstly, you can get a duality. Minimal wear, $4.62. Absolutely fantastic skin. I know some people are still upset that it replaced the Doodle Lore, but I think this looks incredible. The value for money on it is insane. Then we have my own op that I actually use. Mine has a Dignitas Hollow on the scope from Glock 2016, but normal pricing, minimal wear, $3.10. The actual artwork on this is really cool. The scope detailing is quite nice. You put one goldy bronze sticker on the scope and you're absolutely winning. And then finally, you can get a field test Atheris for just over $3 here. I mean, Atheris anywhere from Battle Scarred to Factory New does look good. The more wear it gets, the more that blue base wears away, but you still actually get the snake on it, which is kind of cool. So you could save some money and go Battle Scarred here if you want it. And then it's time to move over to our running guns. So we're going to have the MAC-10 Sabai Oni here. This is now $3 for minimal wear. When this got added, I straight away was saying it is an absolutely cracking skin to have, because, I mean, just across the board, the amount of detail on this, and it's a really nice color. Like, it definitely beats out what the next option is going to be, which is the Discotheque, which is $4.79. I love the Discotheque when it's in this static image. The pink and the blue is perfect. It loses a little bit the fact when you're using it in game, it's like blue into like a yellowy, but the fact that it changes depending on how you're inspecting it is kind of cool. And then if you want that full cyan vibe, the Malachite for $2.71 is going to be the pick for you. You can see it is just full on cyan vibe, and the accents are nothing, but it's so bright. Then on the CT side for the running guns, Food Chain in minimal wear is my first suggestion for you guys. This will run you $4. I think across the board, it's one of the best value for money skins in the game for the level of artwork and how bright it is, and there's so much craft potential as well. I'm a big fan of this. I actually had to go double check myself on pricing for the Starlight Protector, because I can't believe that this is now field tested for under $3. It is such a nice MP9 skin. At the start of CS2, they had fucked up the textures a little bit for it, but now absolutely banging for the price. And then we get one of my personal favorites. It is going to be the Hydra, which is $4.25 in Battle Scarred. Now, obviously, if you go very high foot Battle Scarred, this is 0.6, for example, you're going to see some extra scuffs come through. But overall, the fact you still get an incredible amount of green here, with then the Hydra itself still saying pretty much unmarked, I kind of like that. Now we're on to the skins, or maybe I don't have to waffle too much. We have P250, See You Later, minimal wear. This one just $4.16. I'm a big fan of these blue base skins with the green design on them, so this is always ticks a box for me. Then I've got the P250 that I actually own and use myself. It is the Visions. This is $4.50 for minimal wear, so very similar pricing to the See You Later, and I think really it's just a personal preference between what you would prefer to use. And then my last pick was going to be the P250 Asimov. This in field test, which is I'm pretty sure the best condition you can get is about $2.70. It actually holds up pretty well, and even in Battle Scarred, I think Asimov's actually... Look at the color change in that crouch. That's kind of cool. beside that, Asimovs wear pretty nicely, but I would definitely personally go for Sealator or a Visions. Now, you'll be pleased to know you can actually get nice FAMAS skins in this budget. The first one is the ZX Spectrum, $2.40 for minimal wear. This was the first FAMAS I used for absolute ages, and I could still be using it today. It just holds up quite well. Now, the most expensive of the bunch is the Mega Industries at $4.25. Obviously, the appeal for this is that it is a white skin. However, a lot of it is kind of like an off-white, so not quite as nice as the print stream vibes, but I think for $4.25 for a really clean FAMAS, and if you're running a loadout that's like red or black, this will fit in too. Pretty solid. And then the final one is going to be the Valance. This is $2.91 for minimal wear. Really sort of close and similar to what the ZX Spectrum is. I personally prefer the Spectrum just for that nice color pop, but either way, you've got solid FAMAS options across the board here. Now, the more interesting budget rifle, the Galil Stone Cold, basically $3 for this in minimal wear, is absolutely fantastic. I love this as a skin, and there's an absolute bunch of sticker crafts you can do to make this look good, so I'm always a fan. Then there's the Chromatic Aberration, which is the Deagle skin that I use for an absolute age. It's $4.40 minimal wear. It is incredibly clean. If you like that pinky purple vibe, this is definitely for you. And then I was quite interested in the fact that a factory new cami for $3.70 was kind of like the next best thing between this $1 and $5 mark. I personally much prefer Stone Cold and Chromatic Aberration, but if neither of those were for you and you want something a bit different, maybe this is worth looking at, or just go under $1. There's a bunch of good options too. Right, and then we have 5.7. First of all, the Boost Protocol. This in minimal wear is $2.60. Absolutely fantastic 5.7 skin in my opinion. I used to run one with some Monacy, I think hollows on it. I just love the colors on it across the board. It's a super cool skin. Then we have the Monkey Business, which for me is just a really cool skin to have. It's got the 5.7 on it, which obviously because it's a 5.7 pays a little bit of homage to like Inferno and the banana on it. So just overall, it's a really nice skin for the $2.66. And then my third option would probably be the Urban Hazard and Factory New, because it can look so incredibly clean for $1.90. This is basically like what the Candy Apple Glock is for the red inventory. This is it on the 5.7, and the finish just looks so damn good. Right, we're on our third last weapon, which is the Joe Berettas. We're going to have the Twin Turbos. Minimal wear, $3.17. I think these are super vibey. What I love about them is that they're actually based on a real-life, like, racing car livery. Knowing that and liking that car in real life, it just ties together so damn well. And then we have one of the newer options, the Hydro Strikes. $2.65 now for minimal wear. It makes these fantastic. Really nice colors of blue. The orange accents give it a bit of pop, and obviously you can see it's got the water like particles on the actual skin itself. Go use these on trade. Get some more water for your water pistols. And then if I had to pick a third, I think Urban Shock would be my shout in Factory New, because they're $2.80. Very, very similar to the Urban Hazard we just showed, because the camo pattern at the bottom is the same, and then the way the color is this really nice vibrant color, this being blue rather than red, just gives it a really nice pop. The Tec-9 has some fantastic options as well. I've said fantastic a lot, but it's true. $1.90 for a Mummy's Rot is my favorite pick personally. I love the green accents that exist on the back of it. I love the fact that it's got all these little markings over it, and like under $2, I think the value for money is very strong. Then there's a fuel injector, which in field test is $3.80. Now, I still personally would prefer a Mummy's Rot, but if you're a fuel injector enjoyer, I think getting this for the price is pretty solid. And then finally for the Tec-9, you get the Avalanche in at $2.70. Not too dissimilar to the Hydro Strike vibes, where you're getting a blue with an orange accent. Granted, it is a different kind of blue, but for $2.70, I think this is a pretty solid option for those blue loadouts. And then finally, we have the Scout Skins. So first up, we're going to have the Rapid Transit in minimal wear. This is now $2.70. I love it because on the skin itself, it's like a train map, or like what a tube map would be if you're from the UK. And it has all the different names. You can't see it that well, but it's all the different names of CS maps that exist, which is just really cool homage to some old maps, some curving, and actually kind of like the detailing you get on there. I'm going to call it the barrel of the sniper. Then, I've always kind of heavily fucked with the Slash. There's just something about it. It's field tested. It's one of the few skins where stat track field tested can sometimes be cheaper than normal. It's a little bit unique, but I like the color of orange. If you can't tell, I'm a vibrant like color enjoyer. So that, especially when it's got a darker palette, that then helps it pop. Like, just so nice. And then the Nox gloves. And then I'm going to end it off with a skin that I think I actually need to spend some time and try and get myself a good floating pattern off. So this is the Spring Twilly. Factory new, it's $1.42. You can see here you get a white scope, and while there's no detailing on it, it is like this nice off-white scope. And you can see it's all these different spring, and it's green, but I mean, green skins are my favorite. It gives me a kind of Irish vibe. You can get rare patterns for it. So I'm going to need to spend some money and get like a double... I'm going to need to get like a double or triple zero flow on some rare pattern and see what it brings. But that is today's video. That is the best skins under $5 as of, like, I mean, middle of January, end of January 2025. Obviously, if you want cheaper, I did a $1 video. That will be linked down below. And in the future, we are going to have a $10 video as well. If you want to see me cover the sort of weapons that I've not included here, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know that you want to see part 2, and I'll be sure to do that at some point, because I think I need to do it for the $1 anyway as well. Outside of that, I want to say a big thank you to the YouTube members that continue to support the channel. It is greatly appreciated, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.